Giannis has no idea what he's doing. At least that's how it looks like from the outside. Right before the season, the Bucks owner proudly said that he spoke with Giannis, that the Greek freak was devoted to Milwaukee, that everything was fine. But when reporters asked Giannis about it, he literally said, "I have no idea what he's talking about." Really, Giannis? Right before the season starts? That's when you decide to throw gasoline on the fire? Now the whole league is watching Milwaukee like a reality show. The Bucks are under massive pressure because ESPN says Giannis and his agent have already been reviewing which teams could realistically acquire him this year. Imagine if Milwaukee starts poorly again, like they did last season. The entire thing could spiral in weeks. And this isn't new. Giannis has been flirting with the idea of leaving for years. Every summer we hear the same story. I just want to win. I'll stay for contenders. And now Shams reported that not only did Giannis consider a trade off season, but he also has a preferred destination, the New York Knicks. Apparently the Knicks and Bucks even discussed a deal, but it never got serious. Still, the fact that those calls even happened tells you everything. If the Bucks have another bad year, Giannis has a specific date that he must tell the team he wants out. And if he doesn't, well, we're in for one of the most annoying, drawn-out sagas in recent NBA history. But the biggest problem is that the Knicks can't even trade for him anymore. They already made their big moves. They traded 7 first-round picks, Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, for Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges. Think about those assets. Could have been used for KD now, could have been used for Giannis. Sure, that deal pushed the Knicks to their first Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years. They might even be able to make it to their first finals since 1999 with this core group of players. But it also destroyed their flexibility to get a player like Giannis. And that's the craziest part. It's like your lifetime crush finally asks you out right after you spent a ton of money on getting married. So now if Giannis really wants the Knicks, the timing couldn't be worse. They're out of ammo. They have almost no picks left and no clean way to make a 2-team deal work. Milwaukee doesn't want aging vets. They want young players and future picks. They don't even control their own picks until 2031 because of the Dame Lillard trade. The Knicks could maybe move a few picks in 2031 and 2033, but realistically this would have to be a 3-team trade. And that's where things get messy. Because who do the Knicks even give up? Do they give up Towns, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges? The one guy that is definitely off the table is the king of New York himself, Jalen Brunson. That's it. And the funny part is that you know Milwaukee is gonna ask for Brunson. He's the heart of that team, the most underpaid star in the league, and the kind of player that any rebuilding team would love as a leader. The problem is that Brunson isn't just a player for the Knicks, he's family. His dad is on the coaching staff. His godfather, Leon Rose, runs the front office. Trading him would be like trading his own son. So what now? The only way that Giannis gets to New York is if he forces it, if he makes it really ugly. That's exactly what AD did in New Orleans. He made it very clear that he would only re-sign with the Lakers, scaring away every other team. So the Pelicans had no choice but to trade him there for less than his full value. Fans booed him on the way out, even though he had given the team everything for years. And the only reason that worked is because AD was in the final year of his contract. Giannis could take the same route. Next summer, he'll only have 1 year left. That's the real deadline. Either sign an extension or finally demand a trade. But let's be honest, he's probably not extending in Milwaukee. He's been dropping hints for years that he wants to win. And that Milwaukee team, let's be serious, they don't have a winning basketball roster anymore. If they did have a good enough team, Giannis would have just stayed loyal through everything. But his loyalty is conditional, and things don't look good. The Bucks' title odds are worse than teams like the Sixers, the Celtics, even the Pistons. They've tried desperate moves, like the trade for Miles Turner. They've even changed coaches mid-season, but none of that moves the needle. So what happens if Giannis finally says enough is enough? Well, let's start with the obvious suitors, the teams who can actually afford him. The Lakers, Clippers, Warriors, Rockets, the Heat, and the Nets are all projected to have major cap space by 2027. But if Giannis wants out before that, it's gonna have to be about trades, not free agency. And that's where things get interesting. Just like when AD wanted to team up with LeBron, Giannis will want to join a co-star he trusts. And there's one name that keeps coming up, Luka Doncic. Think about it, Luka and Giannis, 2 international stars, both obsessed with winning, both tired of carrying everything themselves. The Lakers could actually put together a very strong package, 3 first-round picks, Austin Reeves, and some other young pieces. It's a move that could actually happen. But if it turns into a bidding war, the Rockets have the strongest offer by far, arguably. They could center it around Amen Thompson, who is a 23-year-old star in the making, plus a treasure chest of picks. Houston owns unprotected Suns picks in 2027 and 2029, a Nets swap in 2027, and their own picks in 2031 and 2033. The Spurs also make sense. They have Wembanyama, a generational partner, and enough assets to compete with anyone. A package built around Dylan Harper, the number 2 pick in last year's draft, plus several swaps and future firsts. That would get the Bucks to at least listen. Still, none of this matters unless Giannis truly wants to leave. And for years, he's kind of played both sides. He's been loyal in public, but frustrated in private. Then, in late of August, something new dropped. We got a new piece of information. One of the Knicks' most trusted reporters revealed that the Knicks had actually made an offer for Giannis, but Brunson was off the table in that offer. So that means the likely package was either OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges plus draft picks, or Cat, salary filler, and draft picks. But the deal went nowhere. The Knicks hung up the phone. And that's where it gets really strange. We're finding out about this 2 months later, right before the season. Why would someone leak it now? It's not the Bucks. They wouldn't want this story out there. They're trying to act like everything is fine, posting pictures of Giannis smiling like nothing's happening. It's not the Knicks either. They don't want their players thinking they tried to trade them. So that only leaves one person, the only person that could benefit from a story like this being leaked, and that's Giannis' agent. According to Shams, Giannis' agent, Alex Serratis, has been fielding rampant interest in Giannis since May. The translation is he's the one leaking all of this. That's where Shams gets a lot of his info, directly from agents. Now, why would Giannis' agent leak this? Very simple, to put pressure on the Bucks and alert the rest of the league. Get your offers ready, cause Giannis might want to leave. The Greek freak wants to look like the good guy. He smiles in front of cameras and says the right things. But behind the scenes, he knows exactly what he's doing. When asked about the rumors, Giannis said, "I've said this many times, I want to be in a situation that helps me win, and I believe in this team. The moment I step on the court, I am locked in. Now, if in 6 or 7 months I change my mind, that's pretty human too." He's essentially playing both sides, very much killing his own message. On one hand, he says, "I'm committed," and then immediately adds, "but if I change my mind." A sentence that pretty much cancels out everything. And here's the thing, Giannis has done this before. Not once, not twice, 3 times to be exact. In 2020, after the Bucks' shocking collapse in the bubble, he made it very clear that if they weren't contenders, he was gone. And that's when Milwaukee panicked and traded a massive haul for Jrue Holiday. Weeks later, Giannis signed a supermax deal. Then in 2023, he said it again. "I won't sign unless we're contenders." So the Bucks traded for Damian Lillard. Once again, Giannis extended. Then in 2024, after another early playoff exit, he said, "I don't want to be 40 and regret not having one more." So the Bucks fired coach Adrian Griffin mid-season, a desperate attempt to keep Giannis happy. This is what he does. When things start to slip, he applies pressure. And honestly, it's not new. Kobe Bryant did the same thing. After Shaq left the Lakers, Kobe literally demanded a trade on camera, said that he would never wear a Lakers jersey again. But then the Lakers traded for Pau Gasol, won back-to-back titles, and Kobe retired a Laker. Even Tim Duncan almost left San Antonio for the Orlando Magic. He and the team were ready to make it happen until Doc Rivers refused to let Duncan's wife fly on the team plane. That one small detail changed history. Duncan stayed and won 5 rings. But Giannis' situation is very different. Every time he applies pressure, Milwaukee reacts. And to be fair, it only worked once, and that was with Jrue Holiday. It's like if Kobe got Pau Gasol, but still lost in the first round every year. If that happened, Kobe probably would have left. And that's why it's so frustrating when you see someone like Charles Barkley publicly criticized Giannis for wanting more. Barkley said that it's unfortunate that Giannis feels entitled to win a championship every year, which is a funny statement coming from Charles Barkley because he literally forced his way out of Philly to chase a ring in Phoenix. Then he went to Houston to team up with Pippen. So it was okay when he was moving around trying to win a title, but now Giannis can't want to win? And to be honest with you, Giannis is not being entitled. He's just being realistic. He hasn't been past the second round since winning the title in 2021. 3 straight first round exits as one of the best players in the league. He's not whining, he's just being honest. So once again, he's applying pressure. And if history repeats itself, the Bucks will probably make some desperate move again. Maybe trade for another veteran, fire another coach, promise him another all-in year. But unless a miracle happens, it's time to face reality. Milwaukee's window is closing. The Bucks don't even control their own picks. That means if they trade Giannis, they either need a star-focused package to stay competitive, or they need to get all those picks back to start over. And the teams holding those picks, teams like the Blazers and the Pelicans, are in total control. If the Rockets want a 3-team deal, Portland can say, sure, but we want Reed Shepherd and those Suns picks. If the Warriors want Giannis, Portland can ask for Jonathan Kuminga and Podziemski. They have leverage. But so does Giannis. He could sign another 4-year, $275 million extension next year, or finally say, I'm 30, and if I ever want to win again, I have to leave. He's setting the stage for that right now. The question isn't whether Giannis is loyal. He's shown his loyalty over and over again. The real question is whether Milwaukee can give him a reason to keep believing, because at some point, even the most loyal superstars realize love can't win you a championship.